essentially two bills that the Senate was considering, one from the Democrats, one from the Republicans, both which would have protected IVF. What's the difference between these two bills?
Well, unfortunately, the one that's from the Democrats is not moving, which is also a bill that doesn't contain any poison pills, unlike the Republican version, which is also, I think, very vague because Republicans like to say that they support access to IVF, but then the language that they use really will not allow that kind of protection to be codified. And they are still holding on to definitions that say life begins right at the moment of conception, which becomes very challenging for women who are trying to access either reproductive rights, abortion rights, or fertility treatment. I'm not surprised that about what happened today on the Senate side. Republicans probably were listening to, the Southern Baptists, which just came out and said that they condemn IVF. And they are continuing to listen, I think, to their presumptive Republican candidate, who has also been very wishy-washy on IVF and was the architect behind the Dobbs decision. Democrats in the House have a bill that would codify protection of IVF and other fertility treatments. And so our hope is that this bill can be taken up. I think currently there are 174 co-sponsors, including actually 4 Republicans. So it is bipartisan. And so it would be great if the speaker would exert some constitution and listen to 84% of Americans and allow this bill to be voted on.
You referenced the broad popularity for IVF protection, and I therefore wanted to ask you, why did this bill fail if, technically speaking, both Republicans and Democrats agree that we should be protecting IVF? Is it all on the margins, and is there room for compromise here?
I think there's always room for compromise. I mean, the American people every single day, in their living rooms, at their kitchen tables, in the boardrooms are figuring out ways to compromise. So I don't understand why Republicans are not willing to come to the table with Democrats and find some common ground. As I mentioned, the majority of Americans support access to abortion care and also access to fertility treatment care. I think in the quiet rooms, Republicans recognize that this has truly become a bread and butter issue. It is about freedom and the ability to make a choice. And families across ideological spectrums have all had to consider or try to access fertility treatments, including IVF. I do believe that there is a fringe, extreme portion of the Republican Party, the MAGA rights, which have and are continuing to hold this issue hostage. Evangelicals worked with President Trump to become sort of the architect of the Dobbs decision and the unraveling of Roe v. Wade. The door was left open with the Dobbs decision to consider contraception, and they are hungry, they are ravenous to continue to find more ways to deny women these rights. And I just believe that, too many Republicans are unwilling to stand up to this draconian narrative that is being forced on women and say fertility treatment, at the very least, just like contraception, should be made available to all women.